Well, howdy, family. How are y'all doing this evening? I'm Eve with the baby's booty. And tonight we got a really cute, very simple embroidery project to do that anyone with an embroidery machine can do. And we'll be doing it on our 4x4 embroidery machine. It is for a patch. Now, I did not make this patch. I did not make this patch at all. I purchased the patch. The link is in the description for the patch that I purchased so that you can go and grab the patch. It's got quite a few colors in it, so be prepared for like 9 different color changes. But we're going to flow through this tonight and we're going to have a good time doing it. Now, the thing that's going to make this super easy is preparation beforehand. So we're going to show you how to do all of that. Then we're going to get into the embroidery and we're going to have a great time. So I hope you're looking forward to it. Thank you for coming to hang out. I missed you guys last week. Happy to be back this week. The week before, a lot was going on. Matter of fact, last week where I missed you guys, a lot was going on. This week, a lot's been going on. This weekend, oh my God, a lot's been going on. So if I haven't been around and about as much, that's why. Sharon Davenport, thank you so much for the super chat. Holla! Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. So I hope you guys, those of you, if you have an embroidery machine and you're interested in doing patches, you haven't done patches before, but you're interested and want to give it a shot, put a heart in the chat for me. So at least I'll know who may let me know who's trying this out for the first time. If you don't have an embroidery machine, hang on, let you watch what's going on with it. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show as well. And if you have any questions about embroidery before jumping into it, feel free to ask, okay? Patrice, thank you for being a member for 41 months. Hi there. Yes, honey. Yes, thank you very, very, very much. Patrice, we appreciate you being here. It wouldn't be the same without you. It really would not. So thank you so very much. EJ's daughter got a new baby, a central knitting machine. Congratulations on your knitting machine. Hi. Yes, honey. Yes. Hey, Stephanie Capaway. Hey, Stephanie Calloway. Oh my gosh, I'm reading a comment and was trying to talk at the same time. No worries, Sheila Cushionberry. Holler, Kevin. 32 months. Holler. Yes, honey. Yes. Congratulations. Thank you for being here for 32 months. And I actually meant to call you. What's today? Today is Sunday. I meant to call you Thursday to check on you and see how you were doing. But I'm gonna have to get up with you probably this week coming. Enduring Heart Design, a brother dream machine too. Hi, yes, honey. Congratulations on your dream machine. That's what's up. That's a nice machine. Congratulations. I saw something else about, okay, so I saw the message about splitting a design. We'll touch on that. Matter of fact, let me write it down because otherwise I will forget. I don't want to make sure that we cover that. How can you get a bail? You filled out the form. Vanessa, if you filled out the form, then a bail will be sent out to you. I kind of wait till I have, quite a few and then I ship them out. It's not like we do at the store where it's sent immediately. So that's my bad situation. But that's kind of how it's always been. But I'll get it out. Split design in SWP. Okay. So I can make sure we get a hold to that. So y'all, I haven't been clacking like I'm supposed to. You have 2 new babies, Diane says, a heat press 2 and the heat hat press by HB Runt. They sent me the purple instead of white. Purple is nice, but I prefer white. Girlfriend, if I could switch with you, I sure would. I don't have a white one, but I get that purple one. Holler! Congratulations! Holler! Yes, honey. Yes. And thank you, L. Lynch. I appreciate that. I love my cowboy hats. I got several of them. Hey, Shell. So I want to say hi. Thank you, Enduring Heart Design. I want to say hi to everybody, knowing full well that's going to mean I'll have to scroll back. Matter of fact, I'll scroll back a little bit. Let's see, because I haven't. But I definitely want to get into this project because you never know. You know how it is when you go live. stuff just don't work right. And I definitely want to make sure we got enough time to do the patch. And now go over splitting a design in Sew It Pro. Let's see. Hey, Shamika. Hey, Tracy Murray. Hey, Renee Meyer. Hey, EJ's daughter. Thank you, EJ's daughter, for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And Renee Meyer, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Hey, Miss Ethel Smith Ames, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And of course, Sharon Davenport, thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Hopefully, you're still here, but get some good rest tonight. Josette Lovercheck, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. Hey, DB. Let's see. We also have Sondora's Miles. Hey, honey, welcome. Louise McClain, welcome. Thanks for being here. We also have Gail Designs. Hey, honey, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Miss JB is also a YouTube Hoop Group member. Hey, honey, welcome. Jean Harmon, welcome and thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Tanya, welcome and thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Monique Johnson, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I appreciate you. Carol Coleman, hello, honey, welcome. Thank you for being here and for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. I appreciate you. Hey, Marilyn Barber, welcome. Let's see, Linda Tolbert, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And Lena Doyle Crafting, welcome. Thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Cheryl Green, hey, honey, welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. Let's see who else we have. Mylene, thank you, Mylene. And thank you for being here. Spilling the Diversity, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Miss Porgy Town, hey Porgy, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Jesse, did I say hey? Hey Jesse, welcome. Hopefully everybody here is doing well. I know there's and I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. I know there's quite a few storms going on right now, so please be careful. And hopefully you guys are staying safe with the storms. Vanessa Bradfield, welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I appreciate you. I also have a new to me baby, a Singer 9913 sewing machine made in the 50s. Congratulations on that, EJ's daughter. Holla! Them old machines, man, I'm telling you. Them old machines don't break. You hear me? I love the older stuff. It's just so cool, the older machines and how tough they are. They can about stitch through bricks. Let's see. So Crafty got the Cricut hat press. Holla. Yes, honey. Yes, gonna be over there doing some hats. I ordered the I think it's the HTV hat press. I ordered the hat press and I haven't gotten it yet. Hopefully it'll be here soon. L Lynch, thank you for letting us know. Please stay safe. Hey, Miss Linda Gray, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Hey, Mama Vi, welcome. And thank you for being a member here. Hey, Greg Barker. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And Sharon Bryant. Well, howdy, Sharon Bryant. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with your daughter. Y'all say hey to my mommy. My mommy is in the chat. Can't believe it. I think is that her first time being in the chat? I can't even remember. That's so cool. Melody Thomas, you got the new HTV Runt hat press. Holla. Y'all, honey. Yes. Congratulations, Melody Thomas. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We appreciate it. All right. Oh, thank you, DB. Let's see what we got here. Thank you, Penny Smith. You got an Epson F570. That's what's up, Greg Barker. Congratulations on your baby. Holler. I'll be over there sublimating all the things. Congratulations on your printer. That's what's up. You're going to be sublimating all the things. Let me make sure. Ooh, it's a lot of babies and stuff. That's what's up. I love it. Okay, so you guys, all right, so let me show you what we are going to stitch tonight. I'm super excited about this because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And so you'll see why I have the hat going on. Let me share screen. And like I said, the link to this is in the chat. And the name of this is Off With Their Threads is the name of the designer who made this. She has a whole site, Off With Their Threads. But if you click the link in the description, I know Sheila Cushberry, if you click the link in the description, it will take you to her site. She has quite a few options for embroidery, in the hoop stuff. Some stuff not quite my flavor, but this I thought was super cute because the only squat I'm gonna be doing is diddly squat. Okay, because who ain't got the knees for squatting? It's me. Okay, so I'm gonna stitch this out. A couple of the colors I'm gonna do a little bit different, but I thought this was just so super cute, and I loved his little cowboy get up, and so I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be cowboy get up tonight too. So that's what we're going to stitch out tonight. Now, since we are looking at this, I'm going to go into really quickly. And I didn't write down who asked about splitting the design in Solo Pro. I just wrote that we needed to talk about it. But if you wanted to split a design, it's fairly simple. Okay, let me see if I can find a design that we can split real quick. Hang on. I'm not going to be looking at the comments for a moment. Let's see if I can't find a design that makes sense to split. Let's see, because there's all kind of reasons why you would want to split an embroidery design. Let's see. Let's go embroidery folder. And I'm gonna come back to the chat here in a moment. Do I want custom? No, we don't want custom, but we're gonna go into custom. So I should be able to find something down in the bottom. Okay, let's see. So, I think that might be a good design. I think that might be a good design. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess we can do it this way. So there's a couple of ways to do this. Let's grab this design. Hold on, so I can see, because over there I can't see as well. Embroidery, okay, and then I said custom, and then I'm going to scroll down to this. Okay, so I'm going to open this one because there's a couple of ways we can split it. Now, my question before I get into this is the person who asked about oh, no worries, Marilyn. Oh gosh, I do that all the time. I'm on the phone and it makes it super hard to respond to everybody. So that's understandable. We appreciate you being here. Right, it's the getting back up. Exactly. Oh, you're gonna be listening to Greg. Okay, no worries. Drive safely. So, oh, and with the hat, I wanted to make sure to eat with no crumbs. Just as a holler back to our friends who are youthful in the chat. But at any rate, so this is a design that I want to split. Okay. And oh, sorry, what I was going to ask before I got you, Miss L. Lynch asked. Okay, so let me clarify something before I get into it. I'm gonna show the basics of splitting the design, but I want to clarify your reason for splitting a design. So if you're talking about a design that's, say, for instance, too big for something that you're embroidering, and you want to break it up into pieces so that you can, or let's just say these are reasons why you may want to, not what your reason is. These may be reasons. So you may want to split it up because your embroidery machine may not be big enough to do a larger design. So you want to split it up into pieces so that you can move the hoop or move the project in the hoop, line it back up, and stitch the other parts. That's one reason. Another reason is like this yellow part right here, you might want to change the wording. Okay. Now, one of the easier ways to do that could technically be just grab it by the color if the color is different. But let's just say the color isn't different. So let's go to, what is this? This is blue. Okay. So say, for instance, you want to say, don't make me text Grammy, and you want to make the word make a different color. Okay. Yeah, it would be cute on the supervisor. I'm trying to tell you. Maria McFadden, the link is in the description. This is Sew What Pro. It is an embroidery editing software program. It's not for digitizing. This is for you to bring in embroidery designs and make changes to the design that you might want to make. So for instance, with this, we're going to change this. Right now, it's all one color. Okay, it's all one color. So I can't make the word make in a different color because it's going to stitch all of this at one time, as you can see. So the easiest way, now I am using an outdated version. L Lynch. I definitely want to say that I'm using an outdated version, but because I hate updating software, y'all. Ugh, it's annoying. But the principle is still the same. So if you are able to, I wish I could blow this up, but up here across the top of this toolbar, if you can see where I'm going back and forth over the top, at the very top in the toolbar. Okay. Hey, Bedazzling Designs, my dear. If you see where I'm going back and forth, right in here somewhere, there's a cutting toolbar. In your program, even the updated version, you should be able to hit the alternate key and the letter, hold it down and hit the letter S on your keyboard, and it should open the cutting toolbar if you can't find this little symbol. Okay. But I'm going to click on the little symbol, and this is the cutting toolbar right here. This strip that's over the top of your embroidery that we're getting ready to do. Okay. So when you open up the toolbar, what you'll see is select points, select colors, anchor points, split it stitch, blah, 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 right? There's so many different ways you can change up a design and split a design apart, but the simplest thing is simply select points. So you see right here is the default that's there, and all you're going to do is make a box, an imaginary box around what you want to cut out. So the word make is what I want to cut out. So to make the imaginary box around the word make, just click somewhere around the box. So we want to put in a box around it. So I'm going to click up here because it's before the word, right? So I'm going to click up here and you'll see a little dot appears. See that little dot showed up? Now I'm going to come down here below the word make, and I'm going to click again and see it popped up a little line. That's showing you your first line. Let's make the second line. So I'm going to come out here past the word make and click another line. So say, for instance, you mess up and this isn't right, the line is wrong, you can click on close and it'll take you back out and you can start over again. Okay. But we're going to keep going because this looks great. So I'm going to put another click, one time click and let go. And there's my third line. And then I'm going to come back over here and join the box. From what I understand, you don't have to close the box, but I do out of habit. So here is the word make. So now that it's there, notice this button lights up now. It wasn't lit up before because it didn't know what to cut. So it didn't light up to tell you to cut the pattern because it didn't know what you wanted to cut. But by putting a box around what you wanted to cut, now the pattern's like, oh, that's what she wants to cut. Okay, I can cut it now. And so now you want to click cut pattern. And then you can do this several ways. You can remove the interior of the box. You can remove everything else outside the box. You can cut and save everything like it is, or you can cut and just save the interior. What I like to do just to save my sanity is cut and save all. Okay, cut and save all. A member for 42 months. That's This Creations. Thank you so very much. Yes, honey. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Miss Derica, being here for 42 months. We appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And congratulations on your graduation, my dear. That is awesome sauce and accomplishment. Very proud of you because Lord knows I couldn't do it. Not that that means anything because there's a lot of stuff I can't do, but that's neither here nor there. We're proud of you. So congratulations, my dear. So when you come here and we cut pattern, see now cut pattern is grayed out again because it doesn't know what to cut now. Can you do that with a picture instead of text? Yes, we can. Give you one moment and we will. And so here's the word make. And now look down here, it says sky blue. When you click that, now the word make is by itself. So we can make that orange so that the word make stands out even more. See what I'm saying? Now, say for instance on this picture, this is a little picture. Is this similar to what you're looking for? Splitting a picture of two people. Oh, easy peasy. Let's see. What do I have? I have. Let's see. What do I have? Let's do. Ooh, that's not gonna work very well because it's gonna have a cutout. We can do that. Okay, so let's do this one. So we'll open, that's words and how to do words. So we're in custom and that's called ice cream. Let's go get the ice cream, H-I-J, there it is. Boop. Okay, open. So here is ice cream. Yummy. Gonna make me want some ice cream when we're done. Okay, so here are 3 cones, right? You close this out so that I can see the chat. So we have 3 ice cream cones. If you click here, there's the first ice cream, second ice cream, third ice cream, the sprinkles for all 3. More sprinkles for all 3, more sprinkles for all 3, more sprinkles for all 3. More sprinkles, more sprinkles. Oh my God, that's why we have diabetes. And then when you click on number 10 and number 11, you're going to be stitching all 3 at one time. Okay. So say for instance, you like chocolate cones too, and you want the middle one to be a chocolate cone instead of a waffle cone. So the way, still in the car, she loved it. We loved her too. She was awesome sauce. She ate and left no crumbs. She really did. This is the waffle cone down here that we want to change. Okay. You could theoretically split it with a box like we did earlier. But what that'll do is, probably cause a little bit of confusion because this is already separated and all the sprinkles, the sprinkles are all together, but we don't want to change the sprinkles. We just want to change the cone at the bottom. So what you're going to do is we're going to grab color number 10. Okay. Color number 10, you see color number 10 highlighted over here. 10 is the waffle cone. 11 is the lines that make the waffle cone visible. So we're going to select number 10 and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do alternate S, or we're going to open the cutting toolbar with number 10 selected, because the only thing I want to separate is the middle cone and just the bottom cone part, not the ice cream and the sprinkles. Okay. So with number 10 selected, we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put a dot here, put a dot here, put a dot here, put a dot here, and then close it out. Now it says cut pattern, and it's going to cut and save all. And so now I have those 2 that's going to stitch as step number 10. And then 11 is going to stitch as all of them. And 12 is going to be different. Now I can change this color. What do we say? We said chocolate. So let's go brown. And so now I have a chocolate cone. If you want your lines to be separate, then you do the exact same thing for number 11. And we're going to, since the cut pattern is still up here, because technically I was supposed to close it out, but I forgot. But because once you cut what you want, then close it out, because otherwise you'll have some glitches and stuff. But now that we have number 11, because I want that to cut separate too, I'm going to do the same thing. come around, and then close it and do cut pattern and save all. And so now I have this one separate as well. I'm going to turn that to khaki. So this is a chocolate cone, whereas these two are vanilla. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's helpful and it helped you out. Yes, we could have split all of this, but let's go back. All right. And let's go back again. And so now we're back to the original file. Okay. We're back to the original file. Let's show you what happens if I do all of it. So I'm going to come up here and because my cut pattern is still open. My cutting toolbar is still open. I'm going to come down, come over, come up, back over, and then I'm going to cut and save all. So what this does is now I have that cone and it skips to the next, I'm sorry, that ice cream, then the next ice cream, then the sprinkles for those two, the sprinkles for those two, the sprinkles for those two. You see what I'm saying? It split everything, which is fine if that's what you want. So now number 10 is that step. Now number 11 is now that middle cone by itself. So all of these steps now are just for the middle cone. And there's the sprinkles. You can change these sprinkles to something different, like if you want different. And now that cone is not joined in with the others. Okay. So there's a couple of ways to do it. It's just, you know, how you want to cut it apart and what your end goal is. You can just cut out one section. You can do that by color, or you can do the whole person or the whole teddy bear or the whole ice cream cone. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Hey, Rosalind. 13 people. Nice. So that means my bedroom is free. That's so cool. So I'm going to take you back to the Diddly Squat patch. Hopefully that made sense to you, L. Lynch. Hopefully it did. Save this part of the video and jot down your notes in your notebook so that you'll have a reference to go back to know what to do and the steps in doing a cut toolbar. But the cutting toolbar is by far one of my favorites. What I really wish I could get into with you is split at stitch. Split at stitch is so cool. It is so cool because you can actually literally split an embroidery design by the stitch. And that's for like that fine detail editing when you just need one certain little piece to come out of an embroidery design. Well, let's show you what that looks like. What time is it? 9:30. Nice. Okay, so say for instance, let's see. Say we want to, what's a good way to do this? What's a good way? Okay, so say for instance, let's zoom in. Diddly Squat. Look at his cute little hat. I love, love, love his. Oh, thank you, Delonda. Love, love, love his little cowboy hat. Like I said, that's why I got my hat on looking cute. I also got my boots on, but I ain't showed y'all my boots yet. So here's his little cute little cowboy hat. And I think it's not step number 7. What step is that? 3? Okay, that's step number 3. Okay. I do have some some video tutorials here on YouTube. If you go way back in the day, I do have several on here. But say for instance, his hat is super cute. It really is. But I want the top of his hat to be brown, his band to be tan, and the bottom of his hat to be black, right? Well, this whole hat stitches all as one thing. Okay. So you see, this is listen, Linda, listen, Linda, listen, Linda. We getting into the nitty gritty right now. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to take me off because that's just how nitty gritty we getting into this. This is like deep down, hardcore, advanced stuff I'm getting ready to show you. Okay. So here is his little cowboy hat, right? And I'm going to scooch this over a little bit so that we got more room to put him on the screen so that y'all can see him real good. Now, again, I want the top of his hat to be brown. I want his band to be tan, and I want the black to be black. Okay. So if I scroll all the way in, and here's the down here in the lower, very bottom right hand corner, you see your zoom in bar. That's what we clicking on. We clicking to zoom this sucker so far in until we can see this frog's breath. Okay, that's how far in we're zooming. But the main thing I need you to see are these little squares. You see these little squares? See all these little squares on there? Each one of those squares is where your needle goes into the fabric. Those are your stitch points. Okay? Stitch points. That's what those little squares are. So the stitch points are going to show you how this is stitching out. Now, let me back this up just a little bit and then we'll come back because we got to be scrolled in for this. But the first thing we need to do is see how it stitches out. Okay. So I have number 3, which is his hat, highlighted right here. Now look up here in the upper right hand corner. Upper right hand corner. This says sew and show. Sew and show. This will basically simulate the hat being stitched out, and I have it at 50 stitches per second. You can increase that to even more, to 1,000, 500, 200, 100. You can make it even faster, but it's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to hit the play button to tell it to start sewing. So this is how it's going to stitch. It's going to do his bottom part of his hat first, which I want to be black. Okay, and after it's done with that, boop, it's going to go do the other side of the bottom of his hat. That's good to know. All right. And after that, it's going to start up here. Did you see that? Okay. So let's stop it. So it stitches over here first, the front of his brim, the front and that side. Then it goes to the left side, underside of his hat. Then it jumps over here to start the top part of the hat. Okay. The reason why it's important to know how it stitches out is so that I can find what stitch I want to split this at. Okay. So let's zoom in again. Boop, boop, boop. And now that I'm zoomed in, I know that I want this to cut off either up here where it starts or down here. I actually want it to start down here. So let's go right back to that cutting toolbar. Here's the cutting toolbar. And remember earlier what we did was we drew a box around what we wanted to cut. But guess what? You can't draw a box around this because it's joined right here. It's not going to, and it's all the same color. So I can't cut this apart by using that feature. And I can't do select colors because the whole hat is the same color. So now I'm going to go to anchor point. No, I'm not going to go to anchor points. That's something different, but I'm going to go to split at stitch. Sorry, I apologize. We're going to go to split at stitch. So I'm going to click on split at stitch. And then I'm going to come down here because you remember it stitched all of this and then it came all the way and it did all of this and it went down here and then it went to over here. So I'm going to try and find a stitch. Okay. So I wish I could. Hey, Zanzel. Hey, Coretta. Hey, honey. Welcome. Thank you for being here and for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I wish I could zoom in even more, but I can't. Or I don't know how. As far as the actual screen itself, not the program. But once I click right here, this says this is stitch number 9,659. Okay. So that's how many stitches we'll be at when we get to this point. So on my keyboard, you have up key, down key, right and left key, right? So I'm going to click up. And when I click up, now it goes to 9,660. Okay. I'm going to click back again, back to where we were, 9,659. You see that? Now, just to show you how this looks, I'm going to hold down my down key. Okay. And see, it's showing me how it's stitching out. Remember, we sat there and watched that stitch out, right? So let's go forward. Now I'm pushing the up arrow key on my keyboard. Hear me pushing it? Okay, so that's 9,660. Let's keep going. 61, 62, 63, 64. Boom, it's gone. Where did it go? Where did it go? It was right here, and then it disappeared. Where did it go? It jumped over here to start the top part of his hat. Okay, so this is where I wanted to split the stitch. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go back one and I'm gonna tell it to split right here, 9,664, and we're gonna say split. And now look at what happened up here. I had just one in gray. Now I have two. Hey, Miss Joyce, I got your shirt on order, ma'am, because I don't know where the original one was. So let's click on number 3. What's that? That's the bottom. And now let's click on 4. And now the hat is completely separated like I wanted it to be, so that I can make the top of his hat brown, stitch the top of his hat brown, and I can stitch the band in gold. Let's go russet brown. Let's click off of it. Oh, let's close out. Remember I said you got to close out once you finish splitting your stuff. Close it out, because I was trying to click off so that you could see the whole thing, and it didn't work because I didn't close out this bar. So close that out. Close it out again, and there's the whole thing. All right. And so now, look, the top of his hat is brown, even though it's not brown enough. Let's make it a little bit browner. Let's find a browner brown, if I can find one. Let's go to Madeira. Madeira got all the colors. And then some. Okay, so let's go with this brown. And then the black is still, oh, you know what? How do I can't remember how to, oh, there, I think this is it. Nope, that ain't it. I was trying to make it where you can see, because I usually leave it like this. I don't usually look at the realistic view. So let's see. Texture. There we go. So see, now the top of his hat is brown and the bottom of his hat is dark gray. Okay. So it's very simple. Splitted stitch is super duper duper cool, super useful. You can split at stitch to do all. I could split at stitch with this heart and make one side of the heart one color, one side of the other heart another color, using the exact same method. I just need to watch how it stitches and find the stitch that stops where it splits in the center, do a splitted stitch. And then when it picks back up again, it's going to ask for the second color, and I can change the color of the heart. Okay. So that's how you split up a design in Sew It Pro. We're not going to split this design, even though I just did it, but I already, no, I don't. Oh my gosh. I need to put this on a jump drive and then put it on the embroidery machine. But what I want to definitely show you before we got over there is my number one thing in how to make this such an easy process with getting it on the embroidery machine. Now, this is going to be a method to use even if you don't have a cutting machine. Okay. But some folks don't have a cutter. Most of y'all in here do. If you don't have a cutter, put a thumbs up in the chat, because I'm curious as to who, like, you don't have a Cricut, you don't have a Silhouette, you don't have a Romeo or a Juliet, you don't have a Starcraft, you don't have a Graph Tech, you don't have a US cutter, you don't have any of that at all. You just pretty much do either sewing or embroidery, but you don't cut. Let me know if you don't, while I search for a flash drive. Oops, sorry. Hey, Marta, welcome. Let's see. I got a whole honking thing of flash drives over here. So, oh, here they are. Nope, don't want to use that one. Don't want to use that one. Let's use this one. Yeah, most of the people have a flash drive of some sort. Ooh. All right, let's see. Hopefully this flash drive doesn't have anything crazy on it. Let's stop sharing, and then we're going to get this switched over to, hopefully it works, actually. That's what I need to be. Okay, removable disk. Sometimes after using this for years and years and years and years, they get worn out and they don't be wanting to work. Look at that. See, it's spinning. I don't like that. Oh, I like for my stuff to pop right up. So if it ain't popping up, that's a problem. We don't want trouble. Let me get this thing. Oh, you know what? Micro Center. Holler. This definitely should work. Hopefully you guys are doing great tonight. Are there no new designs in the Rhinestone Garage? Not that I'm aware of, because I did let him know that I was doing embroidery tonight. And but keep an eye out. I don't know if he'll put something out there or not. Okay, so this is folder. Let's take this and we're gonna do this. I'll put that there. And now let's grab the diddly squat. And I'm doing the 3-inch diddly squat patch because I wanted to work without any issues on the embroidery machine on my 4x4. So I'm only doing the 3-inch. There's also a 4-inch and I think a 5-inch too. Hold on. Let me see. Diddly squat. 4-inch, 5-inch. Yeah. It goes all the way up to a 5-inch patch. So if you want to do a little bit bigger, you can. The smallest is 3 inches and the largest is 5 inches. And there's also a 4-inch version. Okay. I don't know if let me see if the 4-inch version works on the 4x4. Let's open. Let's go here. Downloads. Let's see. 4-inch. 4-inch. Yeah. The 4-inch fits in a 4x4 frame as well. But of course, you know, the 5-inch will not work on a 4x4 embroidery machine. Okay. All righty. Hey, Kim Dalton. Welcome. Thank you, Donzel. Hey, Avery Head. Welcome. So hopefully you guys got a lot of really good information off of that. We are going to, so actually the whole reason I was in Sew It Pro to begin with is this right here. I don't, that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes it's just don't come together like it's supposed to. Okay. So here is the patch, right? The other part to making this easier on you is this right here. See how the first step, and we're going to go through all the steps of doing the patch to show you just how easy it is. Okay, but the first color stop is a circle. The first color stop is a circle. That circle is right here. That circle helps you know how big to cut out your material ahead of time. So if you don't have a cutter, you can use cardstock, print this out, and then cut it out with your cardstock. Cut it out and put a circle so that you can follow it, and then use this to cut your fabric. Alternatively, if you have I'm going to show you what I did though, but if you have a cutter, this works with your cutter. So you would select this first circle, and then right up here, there's a pin that says Save Applique Cutouts. Save Applique Cutout. So when you click there, it's going to give you the option to save this as an SVG. The only problem is there's an inflation factor. I don't like that. So usually what I do, you can do this if you want to, but what I generally do is I look at the size, and that's why up here I have it in millimeters. I have it in millimeters because millimeters is easier for me to make the circle size more accurate than if it were in inches. Because when I clicked on this in inches, it was something like 3.15. I don't know what 0.15 is on a ruler. I just don't. And I don't know how to put 0.15. Forget it. I just did it with the millimeters. That way I know it's super accurate. Okay. So here is my circle already cut out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to the patch fabric, put this down and cut it out ahead of time. Okay. I'm going to trace this out and then we're going to cut it. I'm not cutting my fabric out on the cutter. The reason why I'm not cutting my fabric out on the cutter is because the cutter can be a pain in the bahookie with cutting out fabric, because you have to have a high tack mat in order to cut out your fabric. And then I use my Cameo Silhouette Cameo 4 to cut out my fabric. And then when I go to cut out my fabric, it slides the thing all over the place, or the fuzz gets, it's drama. I don't have time for drama. Similarly, same principle over on the Romeo. So I'm just going to cut it out by hand. But what this does is this helps you to avoid the dreaded patch fur that a lot of people don't like. Let me show you what patch fur is. Let me find some patches. Okay. Here's my bag of patches. Hilarious. 2024. Okay. Let's find a round one. So here's a round one. Oh, like that's not round. That's what's the face. So this one looks good because I did what I'm about to do and I trimmed the fabric ahead of time. It's not going to zoom, I don't think, but I trimmed the fabric ahead of time, the patch fabric. Let me see if I can find one where I did not. Okay, so here's one where I did not. It's not a circle though. I wish it was, but same principle applies. You can see how the edge is white all the way around. See how the edge is white? That's because I did not cut the fabric ahead of time like an applique, so that when I came around with the border, it would stitch over the edge of the border and keep a nice clean border instead of seeing the edge. And so I was cutting it out after the fact. Okay. So that's what we're trying to avoid by doing what we're doing. There we go. That's what we're trying to avoid by cutting it out ahead of time. Okay. All right. So did you crochet your top? No, I did not, Sheila Cushionberry. I found a lady that lives not far from me. And thank you, Abraham. And she crochet. I had her, she went, when I walked into her shop for a completely different reason, she had a outfit on the mannequin, and it was the little strappy top with this over the top, and that's all it was. And I was like, oh my God, that is beyond adorable. I want it like yesterday. So I paid for her to make this. Y'all, she had it done, and like the next day she was like, oh, I'm done. What? How, fam? I mean, yeah, it's not a whole lot of thread to this because it's like a halter, but still it's super cute, and she did a really good job with it. So no, I did not. If I had I might possibly could crochet it, but child, the way my attention span is not where it's at for me to do this. So thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Evelyn. But she did do an excellent job. And I actually asked her to make a skirt to go with it. I don't have on the skirt, but I do. Hubby absolutely loves the job she did. He loves this top and stuff. So, but anyways, let's go over to the cutting table. And like I said, what we're going to do is, oh, let me show y'all my boots. Whoops, my boots. Can't y'all see my boots? Look at these boots, y'all. Bling boots on the ground. Holler, y'all, honey, y'all. In the studio, looking real cute for no crazy reason other than to celebrate with the little froggy, the diddly squat froggy. All right, let's go make some patches. It's 9:52, almost 10 o'clock. Ooh, we got an hour to play with. Thank you, That To This Creations. I love these boots. All right, so let us switch over. I'm still surprised I was able to lift it. There you go. I'll be sore tomorrow. Okay. I'll be sore tomorrow. So, anyways, let's switch to the table. And let me grab my microphone. And let's talk about patches and how super duper duper easy they are to do. Okay, so here is my circle. Circle, dot, dot. Okay, and what we are going to do is I'm going to show you my patch fabric. And I got my camera ready so y'all can watch it stitching out if you want to. Here is my patch fabric. It is old as the hills. It's probably gonna have my allergies acting up because I'm allergic to dust and there's nothing but dust all over it. But because I don't make patches very often, but when I do, I like to have patch fabric. Okay, so the thing about patches is you want it to have the least amount of fray as you possibly can. Okay, least amount of fray. Where? Oops, sorry. Whoops, sorry, y'all. I knocked y'all down. I saw a comment and I missed it. Hold on. I want to see what I missed. I'm gonna grab my trackball. He said, "Yeehaw, hilarious. Where your fan? Did the hubby take it? No. Oh, no. I got my fan right here. He didn't take it. I decided. Well, honestly, I kind of have been in a little bit of a funk the last couple of weeks, y'all, honestly. So I just kind of hadn't really been fooling with it. Here's the fan. Whoops, wrong way. Because y'all's honey, what we finna do is some patches, okay? So, hey, Martha. Hey, Brenda. No worries, Brenda. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So here is patch fabric. Now, the thing about patch fabric is can you hear that? This is twill, and it's very stiff. And it's very finely woven on the front side. The back is kind of like a mesh almost looking, but I'm not sure how or why. But this tight weave on the front, the other reason why I like using this, which you can get this from Twill USA. You can also get some from DIME, if I'm not mistaken. And you also can get some from Ganold, if I'm not mistaken. And Tex-Mex. There's quite a few places, but you have to look up patch twill. Patch twill. The cool thing is this is polyester, so I can sublimate it if I need to, if I want it to be a specific color, even though they do sell it in special colors. Where did you get the frog patch from? The link is in the description, Miss Patricia. It's the very first link after the giveaway winners link. And the name of the site is Over the Thread. All right. Oh, where's my? There it is. This is actually not in the hoop project I was going to do, but I decided to change and do this because I saw it and was like, oh, that's super cute. So the other reason what I was going to mention is this is patch twill. The reason why I like the patch twill with this tight weave, which, you know, I'm just not going to really be able to show it to you as well as I want to, but it looks like the background of a patch, as if I were to stitch a patch. Okay, so if you wanted to do a patch, like for instance, this one right here, the very first stitch after the applique circle is it fills in the background. So you may not want your background filled in because that's a lot of stitches. You can I could actually leave it white and it would look good because the back. Oh, you know what? I know how to show you once. Because the background is like a patch material. Okay. So let me grab we're gonna do this what I like to call the hard way, because we're not going to use a cutter. So all I did was print out this circle in the dimensions of that first stitch on the embroidery machine. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on here, and unfortunately I'm wasting this. I should have did this first and then cut it, but I'm just going to trace around this. Okay, all I'm going to do is trace. And this is if you don't have a cutter, or if you're like me. Let me use the other side. If you're like me and you are fabric cutter challenged, then this is for you. And as you can see, I'm trace a circle challenged as well, but don't judge, because there's a lot of stuff you ain't good at either. Okay, so we're gonna come around here. We're gonna trace this here, boop, and there we go. And I'm going to save this for the next time I do a diddly squat patch, because I wrote diddly squat on the back so that I'll know what that circle is for. And then all I'm going to do is come around and cut along this line. It's easier to cut it now than to cut it once it's on the machine. It's easier to cut it now than to cut it once it's on the machine. Okay, but you don't have to do it this way. You totally, and I'll show you at what point you're going to make the change on which route you're going to take. So here's my circle. Okay, so the way I like to do patches is I like to use another material. So the first material, listen. The first material is the patch twill. The first material is the patch twill, right? Well, the second material is going to be Badge Master, or you can you can also find it as Ultra Solvy. Okay, so let's see. Present. There we go. Okay, so I can add that here in a minute. Here is Badge Master. Mine is kind of wrinkled, so I'm probably not going to use this one with this project. But this is Badge Master. It's very thick. This is a very thick material. Some people use 2 millimeter plastic at Home Depot or whatever. I don't. I just use either the Badge Master or here's Ultra Solvy. And the Ultra Solvy is the exact same type stuff. It dissolves in water, which we don't need to worry about that part, because we're not gonna. That part doesn't matter for what we're doing. See, and this is thick plastic as well. See. Now let me show you. I didn't hear what you said. You were saying something to me, sir. Let me show you The difference between that and this is water soluble. So both of them dissolve in water. But look at how this is. Look how flimsy and thin this is. This is for going on top of stuff like towels, or fleece, flannel, going on top of flannel, because flannel is so thick and your stitches can sink down in. So you use this on top to keep your stitches from sinking. That's what this is for. But this stuff, the thicker water soluble stuff, this is for like your freestanding lace or your patches or something like that, where you just need temporary stabilizer to hold on to it and then rinse it out. Okay. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this Ultra Solvy, as you see, and I'm going to cut this. And I have all my colors laid out in the order that we're going to be stitching tonight to make the life somewhat easier on us and hopefully have less problems. Hey Marlise, welcome. Duck canvas, yes. You also can use don't be afraid also to use what is it what I'm talking about? I sat here and thought about all of this before we went live. What's the name of that stuff? Not twill. Y'all, name some other stuff people use in patches. I don't use it, but some people do. Hey, Faye Norman, welcome. Felt. I figured it out. Felt. You also can use felt. Thank you, Vanessa Bradfield. Okay, so here is our Ultra Solvy. It's in the hoop. That's all I'm hooping. Okay, that's all I'm hooping, and that's what's on the embroidery machine. Let's bring this up so that you can see that as well. Let me grab my hard drive that I did not get, but I did put the design on it at least. And we're going to put this in the embroidery machine, and I'm going to pull up that design. All right, so let's back this up just a little. We can switch to the side just a little bit so that you can see it all. All right, so here's the USB. Here's the patch design. We're going to set it. And here's the picture of the froggy that we're going to do. I'm not editing it anymore. It's good the way it is. So we're going to start with the first color. And I'm going to take this off the wrong way, because that's what I do. I'm a rebel. And I'm going to put the first color on. Actually, I probably should have left that color because it's easier for you to see. But for now, we're going to put this pink on here. Outdoor fabric is good for patches as well, yes, because it's a dense fabric as well. You want a dense fabric that will not fray. Anything that frays is not really going to be your friend. Oh, earlier somebody was asking. Let's do this real quick. I think it was Book Designs. I can't remember who it was. Somebody earlier in the chat over on our friend Sean's channel was asking about threading the Brother embroidery machine with the auto threader. This is our auto threader. There's a couple of tips that I definitely want to point out with this auto threader that will save you some stress. Okay. First thing, you want to make sure that your needle is inserted all the way up the way it's supposed to be. So even if you have to use a pair of needle nose pliers to hold it up in place as you tighten the screw, be sure to do that, because if this slips down any, then your needle, the little needle threader thingy, is not going to be able to go through the needle to catch the thread for you. Okay, but the way this works, let me see if I can get closer. So I'm gonna show you the way this works is it comes down. This is all manual, by the way. This isn't automatic. But it comes down and there's a part that swings forward. And what it does, which you probably can't really see it very well. Can't see it very well, but there's a little teeny barb that goes through the eye of that needle so that when you bring this thread around the way I'm going to show you, it catches that barb. And then when you let it go, it sucks the thread through the eye of that needle. Okay. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So even though it's not an auto threader, it is still an auto threader and it still works really well. Okay, so I have threaded my machine and notice there's a number 6 right here over the top of this bar. Please make sure that your thread goes behind that bar because that's a part of threading the machine too. See how it's behind that bar? Right there, below the number 6. See how it's threaded that way? And the way to do that is to bring the thread over this way. Let me pull it out. Pull it out. I'll show this again. Let me thread it up here first. All right, and so to thread that number 6, because number 5 is right there, number 6 is down there. So we're gonna come down here. Sorry, y'all, go shaking the thing, and you go behind that bar like that, and you can pull it, and there you go. It's just that simple. Please make sure that you are threading that as well. All right. And then that's number 6. See this faint number 7 right there? See that number 7? That's number 6, step 6. That's step 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our thread through this little channel right here. Bloop. And then we're going to come around this number 7 just like this. And you should hear a little faint click. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. Pull on it a little bit so that you can see that it's in that channel. And then over here, sorry, there we go. Over here, there's a number 8 right there. And what that does is it cuts the thread for you. Bloop, just like that. So see, that's step number 8. So you have 8 steps to threading your embroidery machine, okay? 8 steps. And so now that that's threaded and I've trimmed it to the right length, when I pull down on the lever, now it's going to go and it's going to put that barb through the needle because my needle was in the right position. And when I let go, now it's threaded. See that loop back there? Now we grab this loop back here and pull the thread through, and now our machine is threaded. Okay, so if you don't know how to thread the machine, that's how you do it. All right, so let us stitch the first step. That is going to do the circle, which is like the applique circle. Oh, still in the back. Okay, girl, there you go, right here. Yeah, the thing is, make sure that that needle is all the way up in the top, okay? Because that's where the problem comes in. And then sometimes we're a little too rough on like the older, like my what was it? A SE 450 or SE whatever. The older models, it was easy to break this. Oh my gosh, I broke mine on all of those 4x4 machines. Okay, so this is the first step. Let's take this off so that you can see it really well. So here's the first step. So what this circle does is shows you where to lay your fabric. Let's cut this again. So if you weren't pre-cutting your circle, this is where you would take your fabric and you would lay it right here, the whole piece without cutting your circle out. You would just lay it over the top and you just need to make sure that that entire circle is covered. But we cut ours out ahead of time. And what I did with it, I done cut it out and don't know where I put it. Okay, so it's just, yeah. That's all right. I'm gonna look for it while oh, it's right here on the floor. That's fine. Let's grab this, and you want to make sure that the tight weave part is face up, not the, see how that's grainy looking? There you go. See how that looks? See, that looks completely different. That looks kind of like a waffle weave on this side, whereas on this side, it's a nice, smooth, tight weave that can look just like the background of a patch. So this is patch twill. And notice it fits right in that circle. Man, as if the embroidery design hadn't cut it out by itself. Look at how good that looks. Right there, perfect circle. Okay. No pink thread showing at all. Now I could use like the glue stick or something like that to hold this in place until it starts stitching, but this is what we got going on. Okay, now let me change my thread, and I'm going to put my first color on, which is going to be the background to this patch, and it's going to take a bit to do this design. So if you got any questions or anything else for us to cover, just ask away. And if I know from experience or learning from someone else, I'll let you know. If I don't, there's a lot of experience in this chat, and somebody can help you find the answer. Because like earlier, there was a question about rayon thread versus polyester thread, and that's a whole lot to try and type into the chat. But rayon is softer in a way and more like, did I pull it out? I did. Yikes. Rayon is softer and more like silk than polyester is. And rayon, you're able to dye rayon. You're not able to dye polyester. And it's meant to be a softer feel than, or a softer hand, so to speak, than the polyester is. But the polyester is more durable. It holds up better in washes over time. There's a lot of differences, but you can use whichever floats your boat or strikes your fancy, because they both do an excellent job. Rayon is super soft, and it makes for some really pretty embroidery. And the colors for rayon is not as bold. So it's probably going to go around this circle again. And it's not going to stitch it all the way down because we did it right at the same edge. But it's enough to do what we needed to do. Okay? Thank you, Jess. Is listening on your drive. Hope everybody has a great upcoming week. Thank you, Jess. I definitely hope everybody has a good week coming up. Good night, all leaving. 5 a.m. for vacation. Nice, Renee. Vacation for me too, fam. It's past time for a vacation. But you gotta wait on what the pockets say. Pockets say not yet, then not yet is what we love it. Oh no, Diane, I didn't see. Let me scroll. Virginia Beach. Oh no, Diane, definitely gonna send prayers for mom. Your mom. Because Lord knows we wouldn't be if it wasn't for moms. My love's in here. I think she's still here, but even if she's not, it was awesome the fact that she was here. Thank you, Chris Smith. Ooh, I needed you earlier. Rayon can bleed in the wash. After clients showed their ruined shirt, I never use rayon again. So that's good to know. I'll be in your neck of the woods headed to Cure Beach. I'm not in Cure Beach though. Oh, wait a minute. You're coming through the Charlotte area. Is that what you're saying? I've never been to Cure Beach. Very bad. It's crazy. Let's see. Turn this way. I need to cut this light off, but I know the light, I don't think I can cut it off while it's stitching. So the bright light kind of washes it out. So the way I'm doing mine is the outline, well, actually, let's put it this way. This little cat, I'm going to do in brown, this color brown, because I wanted to be brown like the cowboy hat. And then this gold is going to be the little band around his hat. And then his body is going to be, I can't remember which step, but his body part is going to be like this brown. And then his front is going to be this green. And then, this is going to be the hearts. This is black for the outline, for the detailing of his body and his eyes. And then the frame on the patch and the writing, I'm thinking about doing in the same color as his body. This green. That's what I'm thinking about doing, instead of doing it in black like it is right here in this picture. But that's the plan. We'll see how it goes as I keep stitching and see if it turns out looking the way I like. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Karen D. Yeah, this is not my design. The link is in the description for this design. I'm in this person's Facebook group, so whenever she posts new stuff, I see it, and this one stood out to me. And I just thought it was so adored, and so I got it for us to do, because it's just a simple patch. It's a circle. It's not hard to do a circle patch if you get your size ahead of time and cut out the circle ahead of time. And then this way, once it starts doing that satin stitch all the way around this patch, it's going to be satin stitch for this wash away. It's not going to be where it's all over the fabric, and then we're trying to cut this white out from behind this dark color satin stitch. So, hey, y'all can't see this much better because of the glare of the light. There you go. See, if the light was out, you can see better. And I know I'll try to remember to cut it off before we stitch the next step so that y'all can see it stitching better. So next week we'll probably be doing some sublimation. Got a couple of ideas and some stuff I've been wanting to do and just haven't. But we'll probably be doing a bit of sublimation next week. Maybe. At least that's the plan. If not sublimation, then I already know the Bling project. There's another Bling project I wanted to do as well. Alrighty, so it did the background stitches. So now it's doing the fill stitching on the background of the patch. Let's see something. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now you can see better. Is there anyone in the chat that is looking to get into embroidery at some point? If you're not already, have you thought about it? And just not sure where to start? Let me know. It's gonna be so cute. Annabelle looking to start. Miss Joyce is going to start. Carrie D will eventually start. Annabelle says just need to decide on a machine. Go with your budget above all else. Go with your budget. Please don't go into debt, horrible debt, trying to get a machine. Because some of these machines, it would be nice to go multi-needle. I remember having only 4x4 embroidery machines, wanting a multi-needle, because I was like, that 4x4 was just so small and so limited, and just, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Well, y'all, what I found out is, yes, the multi-needle is totally awesome. It's faster. It can handle a lot. It can get a lot of big projects done. But the amount of big projects that you wind up doing really don't always justify having a multi-needle machine. So, if you have the funds and the budget to freely go get one, by all means, get the bigger machine. But if it's going to put you in a significant amount of debt, then what I would suggest is to use what you have to build up your funds to help what you have pay for that, unless you're just doing this for fun. But if you're doing this for fun, then 9 times out of 10, you got the budget to go get the multi-needle machine in a lot of instances. So, because you guys know our projects can get quite pricey. And if my first multi-needle wasn't a blessing to me, like, brother didn't send it to me, but I was gifted that machine. If it weren't for that, I probably would not have had one. So I'm thankful for having it, but I also made a good bit of money with it because I was actually doing this for profit at the time. So it wasn't a horrible thing to have the multi-needle. But if you're not able, because I also was making decent profit with the 4x4 embroidery machines. I had 3 going at one time at one point, and I bought the first one I bought from Walmart. The other 2 I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and I kind of felt bad because one of the ones I got on Facebook Marketplace, the husband was like, "But she ain't using it, so I'm getting rid of it." I was like, "Bro, thank you, but that's jacked up, you know." So there's a lot of folks out there that are offloading embroidery machines, especially the 4x4. I had all 3 going and making onesies, making bird cloths, making baby bibs. You could do. I was doing left chest business logos with the 4x4 machine. I was doing all of that, and it was making money. It was. And then when I switched over and got the bigger machine, yeah, I was doing some projects that were bigger, but it usually wound up, I was still doing, about the biggest I was doing was 5x7 on a regular basis. No bigger than that. It really wasn't. So if you can go with a multi-needle and you can afford it without it putting you in the poorhouse, go with a multi-needle or a larger bed single needle. Because there's a lot of really nice single needle embroidery machines with a larger embroidery bed. It really is. But you know, it's a choice. It's a choice. Larger magnetic hoops included. I find it long and hard about starting at my age. But but Brenda, you were able to do that. You knew it was in your budget. You thought about it. You planned for it. Um, so that was a good thought process. You thought about it instead of just jumping on the gun and throwing into getting into debt. It's just y'all, because some of these machines that's out there, you paying for the name. You paying for the name, and the name ain't all it's hyped up to be in some of those instances. Ginger says you got a brother SD625 4x4. Just wish it was a little bigger, but I do have the repositional hoop, and that's been a game changer. Yes, Ginger. That was one of my favorite parts. That's how, when I was showing you guys earlier about splitting an embroidery design, that's how I learned to be real efficient with splitting an embroidery design. It's because of that repositional hoop. It was because of that repositional hoop, Chad. I want to transition to a multi-needle machine now, even though I like my P900, I don't like changing the colors. And yes, that can be a plus instead of lining them up and changing them. But in some instances, I change my thread faster on my single needle than that machine changes the needle. Saying. What size would you need the t-shirt, sweatshirt, single needle? Nicole, I would go with the largest bed you can get here. For a single needle, you could do if you can't swing a multi needle, maybe like a 6x10 if you can find one. I can't think. What is Poolin? Poolin, I think, has one that you can get that's not break the bankable too bad, and it's a single needle and it's a 6x10 hoop. So that could be an option maybe. And then you can do shirts and t-shirts with that. Who's that? Visionary says she uses her single needle more than her multi-needle machine. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So mama single needle machine just wish the hoop was bigger than 6x10. So this is the other thing. Well, there are some brother has bigger, but again, that's the name. All embroidery machines embroidered. Think of it like a car. The bells and whistles are going to cost money, just like a Cadillac luxury car. And you know what? That was the biggest shock to me, to be completely transparent, when I got the multi-needle machine. Everything cost more. Everything costs more. The thread had to be bigger, so it costs more. You don't have the little spools that were like $3. You got these big spools that are like $8 to $10, $7, $8, $10. The bigger spools. You want to get all the colors. So if you had the small spools, now you getting into the bigger spools, so you double it up on colors. Your hoops. You can use the hoops that come with it, but you know what? This is the thing with the hoops that come with it. Most people don't like to use the hoops that come with the machine. So as soon as they get the multi-needle, they got to go for the magnetic hoops because they're easier to use than the hoops that come with the machine. So there you got to get magnetic hoops. Okay, so that's another cost that's incurred. Your stabilizer is bigger. Instead of buying the small packs of stabilizer, you got to get bigger rolls. That's going to cost more. And then Mylene pointed out, the programs are the biggest cost. for the machine. But I'm gonna tell you a secret. Who wants to know a secret about buying a multi-needle machine and saving probably $1,000? A good $1,000. The largest we could pull it is 8x11. That's good. That's an excellent size. That's even bigger than 6x10, so that's good. If you're going for a multi-needle, I'm gonna give you a secret. I was fortunate that I won lots of big spools of thread for my multi-needle. Now, some multi-needles come with the thread. They'll come with, like, if you get a 6 needle, it'll come with 6 spools of thread. 10 needle will come with 10 spools of thread, so on and so forth. Chris Smith, yes, that's it. So with my brother, we saved $1,000 on that brother embroidery machine because I opted out of the software. I did not get the software. At the time, I was not interested in digitizing at all, period, poof. I was not. And I had been using Sew Pro for the longest, doing what you just saw me do tonight, editing designs that were already there. And then when there was a design that I needed digitized, I had somebody like JJ digitizing or Vitter digitizing to do the digitizing for me, so I didn't have to do it and stress out about it. And then once they did the digitizing, if I needed to edit something, I could. So I saved $1,000 off of that software. Like Miss Joy said, she already has Embroidered. You don't want to learn nothing else. Okay, well, the machine may come with, like, one particular machine brand that I'm thinking of right now. They try and push their software on you, and that software is very expensive. Your machine is already pricey, so then when you add that $2,000 on top of it just because of a program, when I can do the same thing with Embroidered or with Sew Pro, come on, fam, save that money. You don't have to have their software. Now, some companies will try and be like, oh, well, it won't work as well. We can't guarantee. That's a whole bunch of bahookie. Whole bunch of bahookie. The key to mastering hooping left chest with the 4x4 machines, the key is between this and this. This is your key right here. This and this. So you lay out your shirt. This is my process for hooping a left chest. I lay out my shirt. And once my shirt is laid out, I find where over the left chest that logo is going to go. And I'll lay my ruler. Make sure that it's nice and straight on that shirt. I usually use a water-soluble pen. You can also use the friction pen, which is heat. If you don't want to take a chance with that, you also can do chalk, or you can do a pen, a straight pen, but it's up to you how you want to do it. I usually use it. I have yet to have an issue with this not coming out because I use a little spritz bottle with water and a little teeny cap of vinegar, and it gets this out every time. I have yet to have that not work, but I don't want nobody to use it and then they try and say I messed up the shirt. But anyway, that's my secret. That's what works for me. But I'll draw a line here on that shirt where that left chest is going to go, nice and straight with my ruler. And then I'll make sure that when I'm doing that, like say for instance, this is going to be my left chest, right? And I'm only showing the image. Just pretend like I'm putting this image on a shirt. So I know that this image is 3 1/4. So I'm laying this out. I probably wouldn't do 3 1/4. Knowing me, I would do 4 inches because I know the middle of 4 inches and the middle of this is going to be the same. So that doesn't matter. So I'll find the middle, draw a line, and then where the middle is, I'll put a little uptick like this to go straight up and down so that I know what my middle is, and then I'll come back and I'll mark my middle like a crosshair. And once I do my crosshair, then I know that I am ready to hoop my project. And in hooping the project, you want to be sure to use the grid on your that either comes with your hoop, or if you're pretty good at eyeballing, you can use the markings on the hoop itself. So that's pretty much how that goes. Embroidered and Dime both have free programs. I know they have where you can try them for free. The Tool Shed is a free program, yes, but it doesn't give you the capability to do a lot of the different edits that everybody is going to wind up doing. So you will still have to purchase software to get all the edits done that you want. Alrighty, there's that. And now let's do his hat. But that's how I hoop my left chest. That's if I'm doing it with the 4x4 machine. Then I make sure that when I set that hoop down, let's see, do I have a hoop over here with the grid? Let me see if I can find a hoop with the grid. Actually, I can show you the. No, that ain't gonna work. Not the way I want it to. Let's see. Okay, so say for instance, this is my shirt, and I'm going to mark. I already did mark my crosshair. So that's the center. And I would do a full crosshair, but this part gonna be hard to see it with the letters and the froggy and stuff. So again, one second, I'll pull this up. So I put crosshair there, down there, right there, and right there, right? So say this is my shirt. And this is my hoop. I'm gonna leave that on there. Hopefully you can see it. And let's grab my grid. So here's the grid that generally comes with all hoops. I was told it depends on what the digitizer is doing, which software they may use. Some are easy to do certain tasks if you can combine. I never tried each stitch. And yes, you can get what you want easily and faster if you want to think about that. Why is that not working? This one's not be the right one. Nope, that ain't the right one either. Should have been the right one. Oh, that's why. This is my my hoop for the B79 Burnett. That's why I'm thinking that's the hoop for my down here. Yeah, all so glad. Okay, the cat is done. That. Find it, even though I'm probably gonna lose it. Set that right there for right now. Okay, so that's his hat. Now it's going to do his band. Sorry, y'all, I ain't mean to bump you. And I'm going to do his band in this gold color. Ooh, it's 10:42, y'all. 20 minutes. How much longer this thing say? We went over a lot tonight. We went over you know what's crazy? I'm doing this with the light off and it makes it harder to see the thread. How crazy is that? Try this again. Come on, Pam. All right. Okay, so back to this. Here is the hoop, and here is the grid. It goes with the correct hoop. And when you use the grid, you want to make sure that you can read the ABCs. Because if it's backwards, it's not right. Okay, you can read the ABCs, and you put it in the hoop. And it's got notches. See, there's a notch right there that holds this in place. A notch at the top and a notch at the bottom. Okay. Let's switch to what's after his hat, his body. I think it's the back side of his body. I hope I'm doing this one right. It's threading, but it's there we go. It's so hard to see. Like, oh. All right. Okay, so some people buy or have others do their patch design, saving them $1,000. That's true. So here's my grid, and here's pretend shirt, right? And remember, I drew the crosshairs. Well, the crosshairs, what I want to do is when I because the shirt, I'm gonna lay this down, lay my stabilizer on top. Pretend like this is stabilizer, even though it's not. I'll lay my stabilizer on top. I'm gonna put my shirt over the top of the stabilizer. So 9 times out of 10, the stabilizer and the hoop is up inside the shirt. And then here's my design. All right, and so I'm going to take this, the top or the inner hoop, and I'm going to line the inner hoop with the outer hoop. Can you see that? I'm gonna line my inner hoop with my outer hoop first. Okay. Once I know that it's almost in place, then while I'm doing that, that's when I'll adjust the shirt to make sure that it's lined up where this line, that bottom line matches, and that those side lines match. And then that's when I press it in place. Okay. And once I press it in place, usually it's lined up. Like this is actually lined up. This ain't stabilized. So hold on, let me loosen this up. Not stick. So it's not gonna let me hoop it because this is not stabilizer. But at any rate, once I press it in and hooped it, then it would have been locked in place, and then I can go and put it on the machine and stitch it out. That's pretty much how I do it. This stuff is crazy. That's how I do it. Is an embroidery machine needle different than a sewing machine needle? It depends. Most single needle embroidery machines use a sewing machine needle. Most single needle embroidery machines use a sewing machine needle. The difference with the sewing machine needles is usually the home sewing machine. Home is key. It's a flat shank. It's a flat shank. Let's show you. Let's see if I can find a flat shank and a round shank. The round shank needles go on the industrial embroidery machines and some industrial sewing machines. But the flat shank, this is round. Most people have seen a regular sewing machine needle. And I got needles somewhere handy, and of course my brain can't find them right now. But this is a round shank. And when I say round shank, I'm talking about the top of this needle right here. This whole top part is completely round. It's completely round. So it's a full circle. But the sewing machine needle has a flat side on it. And what that flat side does is it allows your sewing machine, it should only go in one way. That's what the flat side is for. It's to help people put their needles in one way only. Let's see if I got one in here. But the home sewing machine and these single needle embroidery. Now I don't know about the pooling though. I've never had a pooling, but it should be flat shank as well. 9 times out of 10. I don't know where my needles, and I know where my needles are, but I don't know where my needles are. How crazy is that? Because I've been cleaning out and cleaning up and trying to move. So, what's the proper or correct size to use when embroidering initials on a man's dress shirt on the cuff? I generally use the 75 by 11. I use that for just about everything. Well, no, actually, I use 90-14 for everything, but 75-11 is your standard. 75-11 is the standard. And if you're doing a men's dress shirt, usually a sharp 7511 sharp, not ballpoint, is the way to go. Hey, Elma, welcome. Isn't he cute? He's already looking like a froggy. I think we are gonna go over. I mean, we don't have to go over. I can kind of like end and then show you guys the rest of it. But 9 times out of 10, I'll tell you what I have to. If I say, okay, you guys, we'll see you later, have a good night, I'm going to hit pause on this joint and I'm going to go to bed. And when I get up in the morning, all kind of everything is going to happen and I'm not going to come back to get to do it. And this frog will never hardly get done. So I'm going to stand right here and do this frog package. Oh my God, that's usually how it goes. I'm doing everything else but, and don't get around to it. And it'll be another project not finished. And then you'll be like, yeah, finish it, bro. Catch. And you're like, nope. I did not. I need to finish it. The letter size like a 1 inch on the cup of the dress shirt. No. This is the same principle. The letter size, like when it doesn't matter. 7511. 7511. Now, the person, honestly, a person that you can reach out to that would probably be able to do well with, because I didn't know how well she did with the smaller lettering is Miss Shawn, Savvy Designs, and she could probably direct you a little bit further, but those 7511 needles, you might even drop to a thinner thread. So most embroidery thread is a 40 weight. 40 meaning thicker, and then the higher you go, the thinner it gets. So 40 weight is usually the weight of your, not weight heavy wise, but the thickness of your embroidery thread is 40. They also make a 60, which is a lot thinner, and they even make a 75, which is even thinner thread than that. I have quite a few 60s, and I have 1 or 2 75 size. I think like in white and black is the only colors that I may have in that small teeny of a size. But the thinner thread will help with smaller embroidery to let the details stand out a little bit better. What thread and needles do you use for smaller textiles? Oh, there we go. Use the same, or will a needle break? 7511 works. And that's pretty much what I use. 7511. And then, like I said, the thread, I might, depending upon how small it is, I might drop down to a size 60 weight thread. But for the most part, I just use 40 weight. See how it looks. Use 40 weight, because what Shawn brought out tonight was a lot of it is the stabilizer that goes behind it. But I don't do a lot of small embroidery like that. I mean, when I did it, I didn't usually have issues. So, but she was mentioning the stabilizer makes all the difference, which sounds legit, honestly. I don't know what stabilizer would be recommended for that, though. If she's here, she'll let you know. But for a men's dress shirt. Hey, Miss Eartha Lewis. Hey, how are you? And Indiana Jones Froggy, right? And you use the same sewing foot for a different machine. For example, use the brother sewing foot for a baby lock machine. A lot of that depends on the machine. So for sewing, there's a lot of universal feet. It would depend on the manufacturer. Some manufacturers might want to be, proprietary, and they won't let aftermarket, so to speak, work on their machine. You have to stick with their brand. Now, as far as embroidery is concerned, I would just check to see if it looks the same. It might work, the embroidery foot, but your embroidery foot is the one. I don't know how well you can see it. It's a round circle, like a keyhole almost. That's the embroidery foot. Usually in a what do they call it? In a universal fit kit. So like I have a universal kit over here with a bunch of generic feet that you can use on a ton of different machines. And so Christmas is I usually let my material come to kind of needle, for example, a knit material. Right. But as far as like the small Christmas, do you ever drop, I don't know of any needle smaller than 7511. Do you drop any smaller of a needle for small embroidery, tiny embroidery? I just stick with 7511 for most of that kind of stuff. But a dress shirt does not require a ballpoint needle unless it's a stretchy dress shirt. Most dress shirts are nice and crisp. So you shouldn't need a ballpoint needle for a nice crisp dress shirt. But worst case scenario, actually, let me show you something that is helpful to someone who is a beginner, and the link is in the description for it. Where? Ooh, yo, I have so many projects that I don't put that done, y'all. So many things in the door to do away. Okay. I have the embroiderer's compass. And it's a circle that you can use to help you determine what size needle and all that stuff that you might want to change to. And I have one. Now I have got to get organized. This is going to drive me insane. $65.9. Oh, see, I didn't even know there was a $65.9. I only know it's $75.11. So thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Ursula. Thank you, Miss Evelyn. 60 ways for fine lettering is helpful. Sticky tear weight stabilizer just me. Is what she says. Yeah, this Christmas, y'all have your get together thingy where y'all show people how to do stuff with embroidery and sewing and all kind of stuff. Christmas is awesome sauce for that. Let me see what's next with this frog. I'm gonna look over here on my computer. Black, white. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm going to have to, because I don't have my white thread over here, so I'm just going to do gray. Let's pull this froggy off since it's 11 o'clock. For those who have to go. Heart failure. Golly, Miss Rosalind, your mom is well. Prayers for you and your mom. You for being there for her, and get some rest, please. Okay, so here is the froggy so far. And you see how it's tearing away already from the stabilizer. So it's kind of like oblongish because I should have doubled this up, honestly, with this many stitches. But I need to trim some of these jump stitches, but he's super cute already. Oh, there we go. Let's trim him up a little bit. And for those of you who need to head on, thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming to hang out with us. with all of the 411 on embroidery and stitching and all of that that's involved with it. Okay, so let's get some gray thread on there for those that want to hang and see the finished product. I'm gonna have to use gray for this pupil because I don't know what I did with the gray, and I don't feel like going to go look for it. The thread that I have behind the machine is cotton thread, and it's for quilting. For the quilting projects I got coming up. All right, and so the next color is, I know I'm not supposed to bring this backwards, but guess what? Let me make sure what the next color is. Moss green. What is moss green for? Same greens. We're gonna go with. Oh, I know what it is. I'm gonna skip this one because it's the spots on him, and I don't want spots on my froggy. So let's go. Uh-oh. There we go. No. OMG. Cannot believe I just did it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back. That's kind of where I want to go. Worry. No. That's where I was trying to go. Put that back on. Okay. So we were on. Let's see what step we were on. We were on number 10. I want 11. So let's go one more and hit OK. Nope, that ain't the right one because I can see the picture of it. There we go. That's where I want to be. All right, so I'm skipping the spots. I don't want spots on my froggy. And we're going to stitch the hearts. So all I did was go in after accidentally closing out of the design. I went in and skipped the step with his spots. And so now it's going to do the hooks. Hey, VA. One heart. Now it's going to do the next part. A frog without spots? Yes, Jesse, a frog without spots. I am not one for, I have trypophobia anyways. I'm not a fan of spots. Is there something that works better than the red zapper when trying to cut jump stitches on small size letters and numbers? No, I usually just stick to these little needle point scissors. So I'm probably not the best person to ask that question to. Actually, y'all, I'm gonna make a executive decision. I'm going to go with black for the lettering, but the outer band I'm still going to do green. I'm definitely going green for that outer. The satin stitches for the patch. I know it's going to be cute. But I'm going to go ahead and make the lettering black. I want to make sure that you can read that I'm not doing squats unless it's diddly squats. Thank you, Faker McPay. Karen D, yeah, I didn't get to make it either. I had so much craziness going on. So I did not need too much. Cuticle scissors. Yeah, that's pretty much what these could be considered because of how needle pointy it is. I did get some of that. I did get one of those shavers for trimming, not trimming the back of stitches, but like for a stitch eraser. I have yet to try it for that, but I did get one. This is like one of those eyebrow trimmer, mustache, fine hair type ordeals. So it should work good with doing the back of. Matter of fact, let's try it now. I'm gonna try it now. Where is the shirt right here? While they're stitching, might as well. I've been sitting on this and sitting on this and sitting on this, and ain't fixed it yet. This shirt that I did with the tree, and I stitched the sleeve shut on accident. I don't like the way it's wobbling. We got a little bit pricier version. Oh, that works good. One this way, one against the thread. So whenever you make a mistake with your embroidery, yeah, that ain't trying. It's better to get the stitches out from the back side than from the front. Because if you get them out on the back side, it makes it much easier to just pull the front away. My favorite is though. It used to be the Piggy Stitch eraser, but my Piggy Stitch eraser keeps looking. Wherefore art thou, O raven? Another project I need to finish. So here's travel razor. Uh-oh. I saw somebody getting got a bell ringing. Baby brother, heavy duty surgery. Well, congratulations on your heavy duty surgery. It's my bell right here. Y'all, honey, y'all, congratulations on your surgery. So this is what I use usually, and I just shave. Make sure that I'm putting pressure behind it to elevate the stitching area over. Like if I do this, it's gonna shave that, but I also don't want to shave a hole in my shirt and no stitches right there. So I usually make sure that I'm elevating the stitches. Usually you can put this on like a golf ball. And I just keep shaving until it shaves it down. You can, when it gets down to just the back stitches, you're able to see it. And this gets, now I know some of y'all might be like, ooh, I wouldn't do that. I'd just get another shirt before I go through all of that. But guess what? You got a custom shirt or jacket or hoodie, or like one time I was working on something and it was and you got to be careful because you can shave a hole in this stuff, but working on one of them pricier shirts and you ain't trying to replace it but don't want to replace it, you have to take your time and snatch these stuff out of there. Because like I try to, especially if it's a new customer, I try to make sure that I know where they got their stuff from, so that if there's an error, I can get another one. But some places, some situations, like my cheer team, they were getting their bags from Omni Cheer. And Omni Cheer don't sell to just anybody. You've got to have a cheer team in order to order from Omni Cheer, and that's to keep parents from ordering and undercutting the actual team, and team not making money off of whatever they're getting done. So I can't order. If I mess up one of those bags, I can't order another one. I gotta call the cheer team owner. Be like, dude, I done screwed up this bag. So I try to make it a point to learn how to get these stitches out of there and fix it to keep me from having to replace something pricey. And I usually use tweezers for this part. I don't have my tweezers right here, but they're over there like this. Yeah, so this time consuming. But guess what? If they keep me from having to buy a $80 sweatshirt because they wanted that high-end type of whatever, I'm gonna sit here with a shaper, take my time, woosah, and then get the shaper. Just believe this the industry. Needed in the industry. Otherwise, if it wasn't a necessity, they would come up with a solution. Hemostats work great. Yeah, I don't have a hemostat, man. Yeah, all I get with my freaking hands are my brains. All of the painting I did today, I'm surprised I'm able to function on it. We almost done. After this, if I'm not mistaken, after this is the outline. I think. But anyways, tweezers. Yeah, my tweezers are over on the desk. Wait, I got some sharp tweezers. Y'all, how long ago was it we did these shirts? This shirt has been sitting here that long, which is a shame. Like I said, if I don't finish it right then, I got so many projects and I am so far behind. And like I gotta get that shirt done, but I gotta get another shirt because I done lost the first shirt. I get a special order. Another shirt. I also messed up on decal. I think it was in the EJ store or Victor Circus. And I need to get into Rhonda's Facebook group and do the giveaway for these hats because I ain't trying to keep holding on to these hats. I'm not wearing them. I'm not going to wear them. So, she's like, just get me. I'll feel weird. Just get me. Project not finished, yeah. Shayla. And I'm about to do this outline in the black just so I ain't got to take the thread off. That's what I'm going to do. Go against my own judgment. I ain't got to change the thread. Because I said I was going to make it green. Then we'll be done. I'm not taking 12,000 years. Oh, you know what? I could skip this. Well, you know what? Whatever. It's just a run stitch. Let me get my tweezers while that does that. I should have doubled up on that bad because there's a lot of stitches, a lot of field stitches in that patch. I knew that it's still okay. All right, this is the final. It's the final countdown. My favorite thing is when they say it's the final brain cell. Crack me up. Just be showing dogs be doing crazy stuff. All right, so for those of y'all who are still left, this thing do what it's gonna do, sitting over here. cold sweatshirt. Hey, I ain't see them. Oh, thank you. Then what makes it so bad when I stitched it together, it stitches it together so it's locked the hoop in place. So it ain't like I could have just took the hoop out and then work with it different. So and the edge of this is so, the outline is so tight. I need to sit down with my glasses off so that I can see up close better and get this thing fixed. It looks good. I got a lot of jump stitches to cut, but it looks good. $11.23. So almost done. So what, 11:30, I guess. That's what time frame we dealing with. I should have doubled up on that stabilizer so that it would sprinkle it, and it's not super clean over there, but we'll see how it does once I take it off. It might not be as bad as I'm looking at. Can I fix the jump stitches? Yeah, I'm gonna cut the jump stitches when I get over yonder. That's what I use these for. Oh, that's smart. She was very, I didn't think of that. Gelatin caps to take oil. I've been working on the embroidery machine all the live long night. I've been working on the embroidery machine just to hope this turns out right. And you see the stitches stitch. I'll be on here till 11:30. I just hope this comes out right, and it doesn't do me dirty. Yeah, we in the home stretch. Not the stretch, the stretch. This. My hair can't do it tomorrow because I'm not doing it tonight. Turn to this back where I can find it. I couldn't find it earlier. This back. What does B have? Let's see. I missed it. B. What does B do? Yeah, Mr. Diddy is quite cute. You just got your pool in. Congratulations. So if you weren't asleep, if you were asleep, you're awake now. All right, so here is, and it says, finished embroidering. Let's take him off. He's like all over the place. And the only squat I'm doing is Billy. All right, so let's pull this back a little bit so that you can see the jump stitch process. But with my hand behind it, can you see where it's pulled away from the edge already? So this just pops right out. And there we've got a patch, and you can use, see it. It kind of came in a little bit because I didn't have it stabilized enough. I should have used 2 pieces of what's the face. But here's the jump stitches. You see all the jump stitches? So I just come in with my scissors and kind of trim You see, I got a zillion jump stitches to do around these letters. Now that's one positive to like the Brother multi-needle machine. I don't know if the Brother, probably knowing Brother, the larger single needle flatbed embroidery machines, you probably can edit out jump stitches 9 times out of 10. But I know with the 6 needle, I can like set it where it'll just not do jump stitches. Now the downside to it not doing jump stitches is it increases the stitch time of what you're stitching out, because for every time it stops in between letters, it has to stop and then move and then start back up again, and all that stopping and starting takes time. So that's why most of the industrial machines kind of just plow straight through it, and then it makes it more efficient, although more work, but it makes it more efficient for you to put the next, like say for instance, if I had to do 100 of these, it makes more sense for me to put the next patch on, get the next patch going, and then I'm sitting here doing this while that patch is stitching. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the thing with industrial stitching, is you're trying to make the most efficient use of your time to get the most done in a shorter period. And so if that means you got to sit here and cut jump stitches, dang nabbit, you're going to sit here and cut jump stitches, okay? Because you're trying to hurry up and get your order done. And you can't have no downtime. If it's going to add 20 minutes to your stitch time, and I got to do 100 of these, what's 100 times 20 minutes? That's all kind of extra time that I got to take to wait on the machine to cut jump stitches, when I can just sit here and cut them myself by hand and it be faster. You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind with the industrial embroidery machines. Some of them don't cut jump stitches either. But I know the Brother does. But again, if it cuts it, then that means it's got to stop and start. And that takes time. And a good digitizer too usually digitizes the jump stitches to where it makes it easier to trim. Like how she has these where they're kind of lengthy instead of being super close together and harder for me to cut out. So kudos to her for that. And the train is a rolling. Y'all, why when I was little I said I was gonna be a hobo. I was gonna ride the train because I love trains. I was gonna ride the trains with a can of beans and a harmonica. I'll let her take this. All right, there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. That looks like a little one right here. This was. There's one up here, but I think I'm gonna leave that one. Okay. So I would take a lighter. This might be too hot, but we can use it because this is what I got right here. And we're gonna go around this edge. You also can use a little mini craft iron and go around. And the only squat that I'm doing is diddly. Where would you add the stabilizer over the, over the solvay? The solvay is the stabilizer. You're talking about the patch? The solvay is the stabilizer. Yeah, Karen D, I was gonna be a hobo girl. I love trains. Not knowing it was illegal to do that. Your single needle cut jump visionary creations. I think my Bernina does as well, but I don't have it programmed in. But that is super cute though, ain't it, y'all? See, and he look, Jesse, he even cute without the spots. He's even cute without the spots. When I used to hop on trains back and forth to Chicago. It was actually safer back in the 70s. I'm sure it was. All right, y'all. Let me come over here and say fare thee well. Oh, 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. Let's see. How do I do this again? Let's do stop extra camera. And let's do stream cam. And here I is. All right, y'all. So the only squat that I'm doing is diddly, which is why we got us our hat on. And the white that you see over here around the edge is that water stabilizer. So I technically, is there an extra stitch at the top of the Y? Yeah, a jump stitch. It is. You talking about down here? Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a jump stitch there. Some jump stitches are like super small, and I'd be like, bro, I ain't got the time. Jump stitch by the heart. Oh yeah, sure is. Let's trim that. Where's that one on the wall? Oh, look at there. That was even longer than I thought. I thought it was shorter than that. There's one in the U too, if I'm not mistaken. Will the Sharpie work on the solid edges? Yeah. So the Sharpie trick that I use, when I use the Sharpie method on the edge, is usually when I don't cut the fabric ahead of time, and that's the white. But because this is the solvy, even though I probably messed up by heating it first, I probably should have just put it in the water and let it dissolve, and that would have got rid of all of that because it would have washed away. But yes, you can get a Sharpie. Just what I would. This is the thing that I try to caution on. It depends, because sometimes y'all Sharpie will bleed. So it's better to see if you can find a fabric marker instead of a Sharpie. I have fabric markers from the heck was that? I have fabric markers from I got them from, I think Tex-Mex sells them, but I got mine from Madeira. I got mine from Madeira when I ordered my thread. Whoops. I'll show you my fabric pins. So here's one. I have black, I have red, I have orange and green, like primary colors. And then just use this because I'm not super worried about this bleeding. So yes, you could do that. Use a spray bottle to take it off. Yeah, I could. Yeah, Sharpie. I have yet to have a Sharpie bleed, but just to be on the safe side, and because I don't already pay for them, I use my fabric markers from Madeira. Okay, y'all. So I appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me tonight and doing my diddly squat, because that's the only squatting that I'm gonna be doing. So don't squat. And I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again next week. I apologize for going over. That's the best thread ever. I absolutely love my Madeira thread. I love Madeira thread. There is no, I have no apologies for that at all. Yes, the shipping is expensive, but when you're ordering so many, it makes it worth it. And when you don't have any complaints from customers for anything, because I don't know that there was, I mean, there might have been a candle thread way back when I started, but Madeira was it. When I started, that was like, not it, but that was like the place to get your best quality thread at the time, so to speak. So that's where I went. Sulky was good, but from time to time I would have issues with my sulky thread. So sulky wasn't my initial go-to. And Madeira had me spoiled as well because Madeira is right down the street, so to speak. It's in Charlotte. We got a warehouse for Madeira in Charlotte, so I didn't have to pay shipping. I just went and picked it up. So, and got in pretty cool with. Matter of fact, my cousin used to work there briefly. My cousin's son, which I call him my nephew, because this is the cousin that I consider my sister or talk to her. She's my sister. But at any rate, because I don't have any brothers or sisters, so she's the only sister I have. But I love Madeira. Always have, always will. So I found another jump stitch and I'm trying to get it. Sorry. My squats are one way. Girl. I don't know now. I might have to, drop it like it's hot a few times at the Bling Fest. I'm just saying, I'm going to have to work on these knees in my cowboy boots to make sure that I got it like that. So that, and I done put my fan over yonder so that when I clack and I drop it like it's hot, that I'm eating and not leaving crumbs, as the children say. So, yeah. I'm just saying, we going to have to work on these knees. I might have to go to the gym just for that alone. I'm just saying. So, but thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming to hang out with me. It was a lot of fun. Again, next week will be either sublimation or, what did I say? Sublimation or, I may be working on a laser project that I got so many projects because I've been blinging so much. I see projects and I'm like, ooh, I can do this project and don't get around to doing it. So there's quite a few things that I have baking in the oven. Not this oven, because this oven is broke, but the creative oven. I got quite a few things in the oven, in the works. And so hopefully I can get around to everything and get it all done. So thank you guys for coming to hang out. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. You could have been anywhere else, but you spent it here with us, with me, little old me, and the mister in the wings. And so I appreciate your attendance and your camaraderie, just being here with each other. So if you have anything that you need questions answered or what have you, just reach out to us either in our Facebook group with the Baby's Booty, or you can reach out via email, hello@thebabiesbooty.com. So at any rate, you guys have a great night. I'm getting to go my butt to bed because it's just these boots. They're cute. You want to see my boots again one more time? I'm going to show you my boots one more time. Let me see if I can get my foot up in the air again for the, I might not be able to get it in the air a second time. Let me see. I did this leg last time. Let's do this leg this time. Foxy, holler. Don't play. And y'all see these foxy legs with these foxy boots. I'm just saying. Is the boots in the picture? Yeah, the boots is in the picture. Let me bring them closer. Holler. Yas, honey, yas. Cute heifer. Okay. You come see me in Irving, Texas at the Applique Getaway. You might see these boots or you might see the other pair. Okay. Holler. Because I got 3 pair of Bling boots. About to be 4. All right, love you guys. Y'all have a good night. It was good to see you, and I hope you have a great evening. We will talk to you all later. Bye.